Paper 1, Predictor Series 2, Kcse 2021. Question number 1. Without using a calculator, evaluate negative 2 into brackets 5 plus 3 minus 9 divided by 3 plus 5 all over negative 3 times negative 5 plus negative 2 times negative 4. Here what you do, you work on the numerator and the denominator separately by using BODMAS. BODMAS, that is bracket of division. And talk about BODMAS. BODMAS, we deal with the brackets first. Then we deal with the bracket, then we deal with the off. If there is off, then we deal with the division, we deal with the multiplication, then addition, and finally subtraction. Like in my numerator here, I'll deal with the bracket. Here I have 5 plus 3. So 5 plus 3 bracket, then from there we don't have off, but we have division here. So division here I have 9 divided by 3, which is 3. So I will have the bracket 8 times 2, it gives me negative 16. So I will have negative 16, this is equal to, I will have negative 16, then this is minus, I found here to be 3, that is minus 3, because this is negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3, then plus 5, so divided by, I come to the numerator, we have multiplication here, so this times this gives you positive 15, it gives you positive 15, negative 3 times negative 5 gives you positive 15, so that is positive 15, then there is an addition here, so this plus, I deal with the negative 2 times 4, it gives you negative 8, so plus minus 8 is the same as minus 8, so plus minus 8, so here we shall have, this gives you negative 19 plus 5, negative 19 plus 5, this is negative 16 minus 3 is the same as negative 19 plus 5, which gives you negative, this is negative 19 plus, you get negative 19 plus 5 all over, this is 15 minus 8, 15, this is negative times positive is negative, so this is minus 8, so this gives you negative 19 plus 5 gives you negative 14, all over 5 minus 8 is 7, so this finally gives you negative 2 as your answer. So that is how you solve such a question. That's how you solve such a question. Question number 2. Question number 2, you are told that a furniture dealer imported 25 Italian made sofas at 120,000 each. So what was the buying price? The buying price was 120 times the 25 of them. So the buying price was buying price here, buying price equals to 25 of them, and he bought at 120,000 shillings times 120, this gives you 25,000 times 120, 25 times 120, you get it as 120,000 times, get 300,000. That was the buying price. He sold 10 of them at a profit of 30% and the rest at a discount of 20 each. So selling price now, the selling price of them, it is now, remember, 10 at a profit of 10 at a profit of the buying price for 10, so we can talk about buying price for 10. If they were 10, that is, buying price for 10 is 120,000 times 120,000 times 10. This gives you, this is 3 million here. This 120,000 times, you get 3 million. 3 million. Now, yes, good. Then for 10 it is 1 million. That is buying price for 10. It was buying price for 10. That's buying price for 10. For 10 it could be 120,000 times 10. This gives you 1,200,000. 1,200,000. Then now selling price, total selling price, it is the profit that he made here. That is 130. So he sold them at 130 out of 100 times, because he made a profit of 30%, so times 1,200,000. 1,200,000. Then whatever you get plus selling price of the rest, and the rest at a discount of 20%. So the rest was 15 at a discount of 20,000. So he sold them at 100,000. So it is 15. 100,000. That is 100,000 times 15. It gives you 15 times 100,000. 100,000. This will give you. That is selling price total selling price, or the whole thing. It gives you, this is 12,000 times 130. 12,000 times 130. If you talk about 13 times 12, again this gives you 6. This is 2. This is 3. This is 1. 156. 156. And then we have how many zeros? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means it is 1,560,000. 1,560,000 plus 1 million, that is 15, 500,000, 1,500,000 you add the two to get the selling prices. This gives you 3,060,000. 3,060,000. Because this is 30 and 60. 3,060,000. 060. 1, 2, 3. This is the total selling price, and therefore, if this is the total selling price, calculate is overall profit. Now the overall profit is this minus this. Profit is equals to profit will be equal to 3,060,000 minus 3 million. This gives you 60,000. So that is the overall profit. That is the overall profit of 60,000. So that is how you are supposed to do this question. Now we go to question number 3. Question number 3. We do question number 3. We move ahead and do question number 3. Good. Question number 3 is that we expand this and then we simplify. Now expanding, first of all, remember when we talk about A plus B, we can use this concept squared. We say this is equal to this A squared plus 2AB plus 2 times A times B, then plus B squared. It's B squared. And for a minus reason, we say it is that is A minus B squared. We say it is equal to A squared. We start with minus 2AB then plus B squared. Now if we use the two concepts to expand here, we will say this becomes equals to x squared plus 2 times x times 2y. So that is 2x times 2y. It is 4xy. So it's plus 4xy, then plus this squared, that is 2y squared, that is 4y squared, then minus, we put a huge bracket here, we deal with this one. That one gives you, like I said, 4y squared, that's by using the second concept here, 4y squared minus 2 times 2y is 4y times 3 is 12y minus 12y, then plus, we are using this concept, so it is plus 9. We close. So that we open now this bracket, we shall have x squared plus 4xy, then plus 4y squared, then here this negative and this negative makes it to be positive, 12y, this negative changes the positive to become minus 9. So like terms together, So we have, this was minus here, not plus. So we have this negative here, it's minus 4y. Minus 4y squared plus, so it is minus, that is a minus. This is a minus. So we shall have these two. Let me pardon. I repeat this process here. I repeat this process. We shall have x squared plus 4xy plus 4y squared minus this one now 4y squared negative, and this becomes positive 12y negative, and this becomes minus 9. This and this cancels, so we shall have, because this is 0, so we shall have x squared plus 4xy then plus 12y plus 12y then minus 9. So that is the simplified expansion. Then here we solve this, and then we find the integral values. Now what we do, we separate the two parts. So we first of all deal this and this. We deal this and this. And then later we deal this and this part. So we have to deal them in two parts. So the first part, we can say this 4 is less or equal to 3x minus 2. Then the second part that we must also deal with, it is 3x minus 2 is less than 9 plus x. Now the first part, I usually retain the number on the left hand side. So the number retains here, so it will be 4. I bring these 2 here. So it is 4 plus 2, because it was negative, it becomes plus 2 is less or equal to 3x. So 6 is less or equal to 3x. I divide by 3 all through, this gives you all over 3, all over 3. So this one and this one cancels. So it remains 2 is less or equal to x. So that is 1. You deal with this part also. So we shall now that the number is here, this other side is the x that I'll make sure x is on this left hand side. So it will be, I will have to bring this the other side. If I bring x this left hand side, so I will remain with 3x minus x is less than 9. I bring 2 to the other side plus 2. So this gives you 2x is less than 11. So you divide by 2, you divide by 2. Then x is less than 11, which is the same as 5.5 or 5.5. 5.5. So that is x. So we can now combine these two. So if we combine the two, this and this, we shall say 2 is less or equal to x like it is, and this x is less than 5.5. Remember, or equal means this 2 is inclusive. So the integral values, we use only whole numbers, we leave the fractions or the decimals. So if we use whole numbers, then our x, integral values, x, this is our integral values, integral values, the integral values, when we talk about integral values, the integral values are x equals 2. 2 is inclusive because 2 is less or equal to x. So 2 is inclusive. It is less or equal to x. So, and this 5.5 is less than what? Than x. So that means 5.5 is less than x. X is less than 5.5. So that means 5 can be included, but 5.5 is not included, but 5 can be included. So and therefore the values of x are x equals to 2, 3, 4, and 5. But we don't include 5.5. We use only whole numbers. So these are the integral values. These are the integral values. Those are the integral values. And therefore that is how we solve such a question. We do our next question. Our next question number 5. Now, when you are dealing with inequalities, that is what you do. Mostly if you are dealing with parts, you separate them into 2 parts and then solve them in parts. Then later combine like we have done. Yes, and then question number 5. Question number 5 is asking us about equations of straight lines that a line L passes through the point -2, 3 and -1, 6 and is perpendicular to a line P at -1 and 6. We find the equation of L. So L passes through this and this, and therefore the first thing we find the gradient for L. Gradient of L. Gradient of L. Call it M1. We call it M1. So gradient of L M1 equals to change in y over change in x. Y, these are the y's. Change in y is 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3 all over the change in x, which is -1, minus 2, so it is plus 2. Minus becomes positive, plus 2. Plus 2. Plus 2. So we said all over plus 2. This gives you 6 minus 3 is 3 all over 1, because -1 plus 2 is 1. So we are asked to find the equation. So the equation, we let another point, another point, we let another point xy to be on the line, xy to be on the line. So if I use this point xy and then a point even this one or this one, I can use any, because the answer will be the same. If I use this one, the answer will be the same, or this one. So I use that and this other -1 and 6. If I use the 2 with the gradient, because the gradient on that line is the same, gradient on the line is the same. So if I use that with the gradient, I can say now it implies that this implies that y minus 6 all over x, this x now minus 1, also plus 1. This gives you my gradient, which is 3 all over 1. I deal with the y first, the left hand side with the y. So y times 1 into y minus 1 minus 6, that is 1 into y minus 6. I'm cross multiplying. This gives you 3 into brackets x plus 1, x plus 1. So if I open the bracket, y minus 6 gives you 3x plus 3. I remain y, the left hand side, y equals to 3x plus 3 plus 6 if I take this to the right hand side. So we shall have y equals to 3x plus 9. 3x plus 9. That's the equation of L. Find the equation of P in the form ax plus py minus equals to 0, where a, b, and c are constants. Now we are told that this line L is perpendicular to a line P at point -1 and 6, to a line P. So the line P, if the gradient for line P is m2, and we know that when they are perpendicular, we say that m1 times m2 equals to -1, and we know m1 is 3 times now m2, so that we find the gradient for equation 2 equals to -1. So m2 gradient for equation 2, that's for P, it is -1 divided by 3. So if that is the gradient, we let another point on the line, on the perpendicular line, to be xy, with this point again where they are meeting, -1 and 6. That's what we are using. So we will easily say that y minus 6 all over x minus 1 is like x plus 1 equals to -1 all over 3, because this is the gradient of the perpendicular line of line P. So we cross multiply, it is 3 into brackets y minus 6 equals to -1 into x plus 1. We open the bracket, this gives 3y minus 18 equals to minus x minus 1. Now we put the right terms together, but remember the format given, so it's better to just rearrange in this format. So I first of all start with this x, so I bring the x here, so it becomes x on the left hand side. I get y, that is by, so plus 3y. Next I minus c, so this one and this one I combine. So if I bring this one here, it is -18 plus 1 is -17, so minus 17 then equals to 0. That is the format I'm given, and that is the format my answer should be. So that is the answer. It is x plus 3y minus 17 equals to 0. So you are done. Question number 6. The displacement s meters of a particle moving in a straight line after t seconds is given by s equals to 2t squared plus 3t minus 6. Find the velocity when t equals to 3. So velocity, when you're moving from speed to, displacement, which is distance, to velocity, we differentiate. From velocity acceleration, we differentiate, but the reverse we integrate. So you must remember that. So what we do here, we are after v is the same as the differentiation of ds all over dt, which is equal to ds over dt. It is 2 times 2, which is 4, and then 2 minus 1, that is the 1, so 4t, it is 4t, then plus, if we differentiate 3t, it becomes, because the power is 1, so 1 times 3 is 3, 3t, t is power 1 minus 1 is t power 0. T power 0 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. So this one becomes 0. Differentiation of a constant is 0. So it is 4t plus 3. So that is the differentiation. And we know we are asked to find the velocity when t is 3 seconds. So when t equals to 3, so it implies that v will be equal to 4 times 3, 4t, then plus 3, which is equal to 15, because this is 12 plus 3 is 15 meters per second. 15 meters per second. So that is how we do the differentiation. That's how we differentiate these numbers. So that is how we do the differentiation. You need to remember on how to differentiate numbers. Then we go to the next question. The next question is on question number. We need to look at question number 7. Question number 7 requires that we draw the line below shows part of a net of a cuboid. Complete the net. Cuboid, we shall open it in this. So we shall have, already we have this. So we have a part, can have a part here. We can also have this one, because there was that part that will be folded to form the corners, that is. So we need to have also some part here. Then we can also have this one. And then we can also have yes, this is how, if you fold this, it will form a cuboid. Then question number 8, the surface area of two similar solids are 352 and 792 centimeters square. If the smaller solid has a mass of 1408 grams, find the mass of the larger solid. Now what we do here, we know that area scale factor, that is area scale factor equals to area of image or object area, or object area. So it is image area or object area. So our area scale factor equals to image area. Image area, we take the 792. This is centimeter square out of 552. Out of 352, not 5, 352. Now what you do, you put this as a fraction in the calculator, and then you press equals to, and then you will see the simplified. You can still press shift, and that fraction form, then it becomes the improper fraction. If you put this in your calculator, it becomes the improper fraction as 9/4. So that is your area scale factor, the simplified 9/4. So if you get your 9/4, that is the area scale factor. Remember, here we are dealing with grams. Grams we deal with the area, linear scale factor. So we know that to get the linear scale factor from area scale factor, we know that linear scale factor, because we are dealing now with mass, equals to area scale factor square root, which is equal to square root of 9 over 4. This gives you 3 over 2. That is our linear scale factor, and that one implies that 3 over 2 equals to, if the smaller solid has a mass of this, the smaller solid equals to x mass of the larger solid, or over 1408. Now I need x. To get x, that is 2x equals 2, you cross multiply. 2x equals to 1408 times 3. If I divide by 2, I'll get x. So that x now becomes 1408 times 3 divided by 2. This gives you 2112 grams. That's the mass of the larger solid. The mass of the larger solid. The mass of the larger solid, that is what we get. So that is what you're supposed to do. We go to our next question, our next prediction question. That is now, when you are dealing question number 9, he's talking about an interior angle of a regular polygon. So if you have, call this is exterior angle. An interior angle is 5 times exterior is x, so the interior is 5x. We know that interior plus exterior equals to 180. So that means 5x plus x gives you 180 degrees. So that means 6x equals to 180. We divide by 6, so that we get x equals to 30 degrees. So that means that the external angle. We find the number of sides of the polygon. When we have each exterior angle, so the number of sides equals to 360 degrees, because the sum of exterior angle equals to 360 degrees, divided by each exterior angle, which is 30 degrees. So this becomes 12. So equals to 12 sides. You get 12 sides. The polygon has 12 sides. 12 sides. The polygon has 12 sides. Now we move to our next question, number 10. Number 10. The external length, width, and height of an open rectangular container are 41, 21, and 15.5 centimeters respectively. So remember, the thickness of the material making the container is 5 millimeters. What you need to note is 1 centimeter, because we are dealing with the centimeters and millimeters, equals to 10 millimeter. Now we are talking about 5 millimeters. What is 5 divided by 10, which is 5 millimeter, will be equal to 5 divided by 10, which is 0.5. It is 0.5 centimeters. So we have 0.5 centimeters. Remember, this thing is a rectangle, so the height will not change twice if we have some other now. If you have, like we are saying, this 0.5, this 0.5, this 0.5, but you see at this end here, at this end, it is an open rectangular container. It's open at this point, so if it is open, it's not full, the height is not, that distance is not covered. So we shall have this 0.5 for the length, the width also 0.5 and 0.5, but the height, it will not be 0.5 on one side. That side is open, so the 0.5 is not covered. So we shall have 0.5 times 2 is 10, is 1. So we shall have the length becoming, dimensions becomes now, dimension becomes, create the internal height above the water. So dimensions becomes 40 centimeter by what we call 20 centimeter, and the height will only, because it's open, it will change only one side, 0.5, but the top doesn't, so minus 0.5 is 15 centimeter. And therefore, after getting all those are the dimensions, so we are calculating, those are the internal now dimensions, and therefore we need to know the unoccupied volume. So the unoccupied volume, occupied volume, the unoccupied volume, that's what we need to know, because we are told that if the container has 8 liters of water, that is what is there already, and we know that 1 liter, we know that 1 liter equals to 1,000 centimeters cubed. So that means 8 will be equal to 8,000 centimeters cubed. So if we have 8,000 already occupied, so unoccupied is the 40 times 20 times 15. What you get, you less 8,000. That is unoccupied. This gives you 12,000. This gives you 12,000 minus 8. It gives you 4,000. Because this is 8 times 15. This is 4,000. It gives you 4,000 centimeters cubed. That is unoccupied. Then we need the height. The height of the above. So the height becomes, remember the height is what is going to change, but the length and the width. So that means it implies that 40 times 20 times h gives you 4,000 centimeters. So we divide by 40 times 20. Divided by 40 times 20. This and this cancels. So our h becomes 10 divided by 2, which is 5 centimeter. So the height becomes 5 centimeter. That is the height of uncovered, that is above the level of water. The height above the level of the water is 5 centimeter. It is 5 centimeters. Now we go to the next question. The next question, you can even expect it to come in section B. It can come in section B, that is where you are using the cosine rule, the sine rules, that's form 3 work, the SOHCAHTOA, that is form 2 work, tangents, that is tangents in form 3 and tangents in form 2. So such a question can appear in section B or in section A. So it's good that you prepare for such questions in a good way. Now, a question like this one is giving you that this is a triangle, of course. We are given tx, we are given ty, we are given this angle, you have this angle and all that. We are asked to find the length of xy. If I have this side and this side, and I have this angle, an included angle, I can easily find this by using cosine rule. Cosine rule states that c squared equals to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cos c. So we use the same concept here. We say that xy, that is xy squared equals to 12.5 squared, 12.5 squared times, plus 9.9 minus 2 times 12.5 times 9 times the cos of 23. So this is equal to 12 squared plus 9 squared. 12 squared plus 9 squared gives you 254. Use your calculator, you'll find it 254.26 minus 2 times 12.5 times 9.5 gives you 247.5 times cos of 23. Now this gives you, you multiply this, it gives you 254.26 minus, this gives you, you just press the calculator and get 227.8249.512. It's good to even write all of them. So to get, you subtract the 2, you get 26. This is equal to 26.4350. It's good to write 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 significant figure. So this gives you 4. So that to get your xy, remember this is xy squared. So to get xy, you find the square root. Xy equals to the root of 26.4350 So you find the square root of that gives you 5 point. We ask it one decimal place, so this 5.1415, so that which is equal to 5.1 decimal place 1. This does not change, so it's 5.1 centimeters. Remember to always underline the instruction 1 decimal place, because if you miss to give to 1 decimal place, you will miss 1 mark. That's for the answer. You will miss the answer mark. You will miss the answer mark. Now you will score 1 mark instead of 2 in this question. So it's good to always remember what you are asked to find. What you are asked to find. Next question is that part B. If you are asked to find, that is part B, if you are asked to find the length of T to Z. To get T to Z, now I have this angle and I have this angle, so that I use the sine rule, I need this angle. So I need angle TYZ, which is equal to 180, because some angle of a triangle is add up to 180 minus 71 plus 37. Now this gives you 180 minus those angles gives you 72 degrees. So that means to get our TZ, so we say that now TZ is what we are looking for. TZ all over sine 72 degrees equals to, I'm having this and this, 9.9 all over sine 37, all over sine 37 degrees. So I'm looking for TZ equals multiply. So TZ is this times this one divided by sine of 37. So to get our TZ is 9.9 times sine 72 equals to 9.9 times the sine of 72, sine 72 degrees divided by sine of 37. You just press this in your calculator, you will find it to give you 645,645,1. But we are asked to 1 decimal place 1. This 4 cannot change 6, so it's equals to 15.6 centimeters. 15.6 centimeters. So that is 1 decimal place. So that is how we solve such questions. That is how we solve such questions. And it's good to prepare this question in comprehensively, because you can be asked so many other questions from this same diagram and be given 10 marks. So it's good that you prepare with such a question extensively. Now we move to the next question, number 12, so that we do away with section A. We move to the next question, number 12. We move to number 12. Question number 12. Now we move the next question, number 12, is that given that OA is 2i plus 3j and OB is 3i plus minus 2j, find the magnitude of AB. So first of all, we need to find this OA and this OB. We need to find AB vector. To get our AB vector, AB vector, we know is B minus A. It is B minus A, and our B is 3 and negative 2. We have the column vectors. That is 3, negative 2. That is B minus A, which is 2, 3, 2, 3. This gives you 3 minus 2 is 1, negative 2 minus 3, negative 2 minus 3. It gives you negative 2 minus 3. It gives you negative 5. Negative 5. So that is our AB vector, and therefore AB, the magnitude of AB, this one meaning magnitude. The magnitude of AB equals to, we say it is x squared plus y squared square root. So it is the square root of 1 squared plus negative 5 squared square root. So equals to 1 squared is 1 plus, that is the root of 26, equals to root of 26. This is 25 plus 1 is 26. So the root of 26 gives you 5 point to 1 decimal place, which is equal to 5.09901. 1 decimal place is 5.1 units, because you are not told what it is, so you say it is units. So that is the magnitude, 5.1 units. So that is the magnitude. That is the magnitude. Question number 13. We go ahead and do question number 13. Question number 13. Question number 13. You are not supposed to use mathematical table. So our Kenyan bank buys and sells foreign currencies as shown below. 1 Hong Kong dollar is 9.74. That's buying. Remember, this is a bank that is buying and the bank is selling at this point. And one South African, the bank is buying at 12.03 and selling at 12.11. So a tourist arrived in Kenya. If the tourist had this Hong Kong, so that is foreign. When he goes to the bank will buy from him. The bank is going to buy from this person. So he change the whole amount while in Kenya. So first of all, we need to change this. We need to change the 105 to Kenyan shillings. So the bank, because you are going with foreign, the bank is going to buy. It's going to use 9.74. The bank is going to buy. So if the bank is going to buy, we say that we ask ourselves that 1 Hong Kong dollar equals to 9.74 Kenyan shillings equals to, what about 105,000 Hong Kong? So 105,000 will be equal to 105,000 times 9.74 times 9.74. So this gives you 1,022,000. You multiply with your calculator 700. You get that in shillings. That is shillings. You get these shillings. And then, now what did he spend? Well, in Kenya, she spent 403,879. So remaining, what remaining is to get the remaining equals to 1,022,700 you minus 879. You subtract the two, you get 618,821 shillings. 821 shillings. That is what remained. And then now we are told that he changed the balance, and changed the balance to South African land. Now we need to know, calculate the amount in South African land that she received. Now this is in shillings, is in Kenya, and if he goes these shillings to the bank is going to sell to him. Is going to sell to him the South African at 11 point. So we ask ourselves that if one South African land, if one of it is 12.11, what about shillings? That is, what about 618? So 618, 821 will be equal to 618, 821 we divide by 12.11. So this one gives you 51,100 South African land. So that is what the amount she received in South African land, 51,100. So that is how you are supposed to answer that question. Now we move ahead and do the next question, number 14. We do the next question, number 14. Now, number 14, we are given that log 4 is 0.6021 and log 6 is 0.77. Without using mathematical or calculator, evaluate the log of 0. Now we change this. This is the same as, that is log 0.096 is the same as log 96 divided by 1,000. Now this one we can change this, which is equal to log, in terms of 4 and 6, log, that is 4, in terms of 4, that is 16 times 4. 16 times 6 gives you 96. 16 times 6 gives you 96. 16 times 6. So 16, remember, is 4 squared. So it is 4 squared times 6 all over 1,000. So this is a logarithm which is equal to this multiplication we do. We bring the log. This is a 2 log 4. For a multiplication we add plus log 6. Then remember this is division, so it is minus. This is log 6. Then minus log of 1,000, log 1,000. Log of 1,000 is the same as 3. So we shall have 2 into log of 4, we know it is 0.60, 0.6021 plus log of 6 is 0.7782, then minus log 1000 is 3. So we shall have this, we multiply, you get 1.2042, then plus 0.7782 minus 3. You add the 2, you get, this is 1.9824 minus 3. Now what you do, you subtract the characters, we call them the characteristic. This is 1, and the mantissa. So we subtract 1 minus 3, we get per 2. So we shall have equals to per 2.9824. 9824. So that is how you were supposed to do it. That is how you were supposed to solve this question. So now we do the next question, number 15, that is. We do the next question, number 15. We do the next question, number 15. We do the next question, number 15. Number 15. Number 15. It is a construction. I may not construct for now. Using a ruler and a pair of canvas only. This question can also come in section B, where you are asked to construction but without using a protractor. You just use a ruler and a pair of canvas. You construct some angles given there, like 75, like such angles, you construct them. Then after constructing, you also draw a circle. For a circle that passes through the vertices, that one is a circle that will pass through, if this is a triangle, if this is a triangle, a circle that will pass through these vertices A, B, C, a circle that will pass through, it's a circle that passes, remember, that passes outside, a circle that will pass through this, a circle that passes, draw a circle passing through the vertices of a triangle, through the vertices, through meaning it goes out, it touches the three sides, is a circle that will pass inside. So if you are dealing with if you bisect the angle, this angle and another angle, you bisect that circle where the two meets, you stand there and then you draw a circle that will touch it through. But outside, a circle that passes outside, you bisect the lines, this line and this line, or this line and this, you bisect the two, where the two intersect, you stand there and then you draw a circle, will pass through the vertices outside. So that is how you do the construction of that. We go to next question number 16. We do with question number 16, and then we are done with section A. Question number 16 is talking about point A is negative 2, 2, and B negative 3, 7 are mapped onto A image, B image by enlargement. Find the scale factor of the enlargement. What we need to know is that if we talk about a point, if we talk about a point A image times that is a B image vector, of course we are dealing with this vector, equals to the linear, that is a scale factor, let's call it scale factor, equals to the scale factor times, or into brackets, A, B, vector. So if you get that, then we know a b factor is b minus this. So it implies that this is a b that is 0, 0 minus 4, the x, and 10 minus 10, that is 10 minus is plus 10. Then this is equal to, call it the linear scale factor x, factor of enlargement, scale factor of enlargement, into ab is b, which is negative 3, minus 2 is plus 2, and 7 minus 2, and 7 minus 2. Good. So that we have negative 4, 20 equals to, this is negative 1, negative x, negative 1 times x is negative x, this is 5 times x is 5x. So meaning that if we use any, can give us the answer. Either this or this one gives the answer. So that meaning 5x equals to 20, x is 4, or negative 4 equals to negative x. So therefore, we divide by negative x equals to 4. So that is the linear, the scale factor. The scale factor is 4. So that is how we tackle that question. Or you can tackle it using modulus. That is using modulus. That is the modulus of AB. That is scale factor. To get the scale factor is the modulus of AB image over the modulus of AB. Modulus of AB. So if we deal with that, because we know that is length of the object, to get the linear scale factor. So even if you use that method, you still get the same answer. So you pick the best for you. You pick the best for you. Now that is all with section A. I'll tackle section B in my next video. Remember to subscribe for me and be ready to receive the next section B in a matter of hours, so that you be ready for the Kcse on Monday. On Monday you'll be ready for the paper, and I wish you success in this Kcse. God shall bless you if you have listened to my video, and I assure you, you shall get that A that you have been longing to get. With this video you are assured of scoring an A, because if you follow this and get all these concepts that I have been showing you from the start, I'm very sure you will not miss that A. Question number 17, I went to do a bit of correction on the question that we did, question number 8 of section A. The question was on similarity and enlargement. When you talk about similarity and enlargement, like now the question was talking about the volume. You are given two similar solids of area of 352. You are given the areas of 352 centimeters square, and another one of 792 centimeters square. Those were the areas you were given, and therefore you could be able to find the area scale factor. Area scale factor, it is area of the image or area of the object. I said that you put that in your calculator. And then in fraction form you simplify. In improper fraction you get it as 9/4. Now after getting it as 9/4, you find the linear scale factor. From there, linear scale factor, and the linear scale factor is the square root of the area scale factor, that is 9/4 square root, and this was to give you 3 over 2. 3 over 2. Now, after getting 3 over 2 as the square root, 3 over 2. Now, remember this is the linear scale factor. The mistake I made is that when you get the linear scale factor, and we are talking about the mass, because you asked that you find if the mass of the smaller solid is 1,408 grams, you find the mass of the larger solid. For you to deal with mass, you relate with the volume scale factor and not linear scale factor as I did. And therefore, we need to find the volume scale factor for us to relate with mass. When you are relating with mass, use the volume scale factor. So volume scale factor, we want to cube the linear scale factor, and it's 3 cubed you get 3 cubed you get 27, 2 cubed you get 8, and therefore that means now I relate and say 27 all over 8 equals to the volume, the mass of the larger, which we don't know, and that's what we are looking for, x all over the mass of the smaller, which is 1408. Now 1408 we cross multiply, so that means 8x. 8x gives us 27 times 1408. So we divide by 8 to get x. So from there you multiply, you divide by 8 to get your x. If you multiply 27 times 1408, 27 times 1408, just use your calculator and say 27 times 1408, 27 times 1408, you get that 8. This gives that 8016. Then we divide by 8. That 8016 we divide by 8. We divide by 8. Then you get 4752 grams. So that is the mass of the larger solid. So that is how we do. When you are dealing with mass and you are dealing with linear scale factor and area scale factor, you have to consider mass, you consider with the volume scale factor and not linear scale factor, as I said in question number 8 of section A. Now, we proceed now to the work of the day, that is section B. I start with question number 17. If you are given a question like this one, whereby you are given the masses, or you are given, in this case, you are given the lengths in centimeters of pencils, and then in a class, in a certain day, they were recorded as 3, 7, 9, all these. Then you are asked that using a class of 3 of width 3, so you are given the width to use. Sometimes you may not be given the width to use, but in this case you are given the width to use. So you are told the width to use as 3, and you are told that you start with the shortest length. Of course, you have to start with the shortest length. You make a frequency distribution table. So the frequency distribution table, they want us to find the class that is the length. We need to find the length. The length as our class. I can make it in vertical length. I can call it class, that is in brackets. I can call it a class. Or even if you write just length, remember it is in what? Length is in centimeters. So that is the length is in centimeters. So from the lengths, I need to get the 2 marks. It requires to find the length and the frequency. The frequency, that is the number, that's how many they were, frequency. So we needed the frequency. So So the length, I can start with 3. You've been told you start with the smallest, and the smallest in this case, if you look around, you have to get it is 3. So 3, and the width is 3. So if the width is 3 and the lowest is 3, so that means, remember, I start with the first one up to, maybe if I go up to 4, the next one must start from 5, because 4 you cannot count it twice. So what you do, you think of the lower limit here. Remember this 3, the lower limit here is 2.5, because the least unit of measurement is 1. Now the absolute error is 0.1. So we, 0.5, we subtract 0.5, we get 2.5. So if you have 2.5, if we add 3, it will give us to 5.5. So the upper limit for this one is 5.5, meaning the class starts from 3 to 5. Because if it is to 5, the upper limit now becomes 5.5. Now the next must start from 6 up to, now remember, the lower here is 5.5. If you add 3, it's 8.5, so it's up to 8. The next starts from 9. The lower here is 8.5. 8.5, you add 3, gives you 8.5. If you add 3, it gives you 11.5. So it is 9 to 11. And then the next must start from 12. Remember, this 11.5 plus 5. Plus 3, 11.5 plus 3 is 14, 11.5, that is 11 plus 3 is 14.5. So the lower is 14, that is the upper limit is 14. The upper, the class is from 12 to 14. So the next must start from 15. 15, remember the lower is 14.5 plus 3 is 17.5, so it is 15 to 17. And then finally, the next must start from 18, because you look here, you look at your table, at the length you have here, the maximum is, the lowest is that, and the maximum is 20. The maximum is 20. So it is 18. Remember, I'm moving 2. So this is 17.5 plus 3 give you 20.5. So it is 18 to 20. Now you count how many they are. Like 3 to 5, how many they are? This is 1. Up to 5. 1. 1, 2, 3. Because 5 is inclusive. 3. 3, 3, the one with 3, the one with 3, it was supposed to be 9. That was supposed to be 9. So here 3, and then 6 to 8, you count how many there are. 6 to 8, this is 1, 6 to 8, 2, 3, 3, 6 to 8 is we are at 3, 4, 5, 6 to 8, 6, 6 to 8, just go around. We are at so far at 6. We have counted 6 of them. You look whether there is another number between 6 and 8. 6 of them. 7. 7. 7. 6 to 8. 7. 6 to 8. they were, this one is supposed to be 8 here. Now we have 7, 8. So we shall have 8 here. There are 8 of them. Then you count 9 to 11. If you count 9 to 11, you find them to be 13. You count 12 to 14. You proceed with the same that I've done from above. 12 to 14, you find them to be 10. You find 15 and 17, you'll find them to be 4. You count 18 to 20, you find them to be 12. So that means we can have a sum of frequency to be equal to 40. Sum of frequency, you need to add all of them. The sum of that frequency, if you add all of them, you'll find it to be 40. This is what is going to give you 2 marks. This is whatever you've done here is what is going to give you 2 marks. But if you proceed with the question, you realize that we are asked to find the mean and the median. If you are asked to find the mean and the median, now you think of what you do on your table. You can include what you want now on the table, but for the 2 marks you are done. Now you continue for the rest, for you to find the mean, for you to find the mean, now I need to find an x, the median. Then after finding an x, I need an fx for me to find the mean. Now, because I'm drawing also a histogram, so I need to think of what the question is asking. You read the whole question and understand what it's asking so that you manipulate your table. So I need the midpoint, I need the fx for me to find the mean. I also need to find the cumulative frequency so that I can be able to find where the median class lies. The median class lies, so I need the cumulative frequency. I can also find what we call the upper limits. I can also have the upper limits. That is to enable me. Remember, when you are drawing the histogram, you start with the lower, so you will have to start with 2.5. So the upper limit, because I said here we have absolute error of 0.5. So the upper is 5.5. Next class is 8.5. Remember, the class width is uniform of 3. The next class is 11.5. The next class is 14.5. The next class is 17.5. And finally it's 20.5. So those are the upper limits. You'll use them to draw the histogram. Cumulative frequency, you start with 3. 3 plus 8, you get 3 plus 8, you get 11. 3 plus 8, you get 11. 11 plus 13, you get 24. 24 plus 10, you get 34. 34 plus 3, you get 34 plus 3. 34 plus 3, you get 38. 18 to 20, they were 2, not 12. They were 2. 18 to 20, they were 2. So that here we have 2, and therefore, 40 now. The last one is 40. Now we have 40 here. Because 38 plus 2, you get 40. So we have 40 here. That is the cumulative frequency. Now we are talking about x. 8 plus 5 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. So x is that with 4. This gives you 14 divided by 2 is 7. You get, this is 20 divided by 2, you get is 10. That's the midpoint is 13. Next is 16. Yes, 16. That's you add that, and finally it is 19. Finally it is 19. Fx is this, and this gives you 12. This gives you 56. This gives you 130. 130. This gives you 132. You can also have 130. This gives you 16 times 4, get 64. And finally 19 times 2, get 38. We need to find the summation of fx. Summation of fx, which is equal to, just add all this, you get it to be 430. From there now, section B, you are able now to answer part B, the mean. To find the mean equals to summation of fx, all over summation of f. Our fx summation is 430 divided by 40. This gives you 10.75. Remember that you are dealing with the lengths which are in centimeters. So, and then part C, part 2 of, this is part 2, Roman 1, then Roman 2 of part, Roman 2, of part B, we are asked about median. Median, I say, equals to the lower limit of the median class plus brackets, that is cumulative frequency all over total frequency all over 2, because median is middle, so it's divided by 2, minus cumulative frequency above the median class. Cumulative frequency above the median class, here I mean cumulative frequency above the median class, all over frequency of the median class, then times the class interval, or times the class width. Now the lower median class, where does it lie? So to get the median class, it is a half. Median class is a half of the cumulative frequency is 40. So it lies on the 20th, on the cumulative frequency of the 20th there. So you count cumulative frequency 20th, it will be here. So this becomes my median class. This is my median class. Now the lower limit of the median class is 8.5, so the median equals to 8.5 plus, you have cumulative frequency 40 divided by 2 is 20. 20 minus cumulative frequency above this median class. This is my median class. Cumulative frequency above is 11, so you minus 11 all over frequency of the median class. Frequency of this median class is 13 divided by 13, then times class interval is 3. So what you get if you do all this, you do that calculation, you will find it to be 10.58 centimeters, because 10.58 centimeters, 10.58 centimeters, 8 centimeters. So you do this one, you'll get it at 10.58 centimeters. So that is how we do the median of a question. That's how we find the median. So you need to know that. Now let me continue with doing the rest of the question. That is to draw the histogram. How to draw the histogram? The histogram, I use this upper limit at the x-axis and the cumulative, and the frequency, not cumulative frequency, but the frequency on the y-axis. And the reason that I use the frequency on the y-axis is because here we do, the class width is 3. The class width is 3 for all of them. If the class width were not same, then I could have used what we call frequency density, like I did from my previous examples, from my previous prediction, a question with that is using frequency density, whereby the class widths are not uniform, they are differing. If they differ, you use frequency density, and the frequency density is equals to frequency all over the class interval, frequency all over the class interval for you to get the frequency density. So, but for this one, because the class are uniform, so I will use 5.5, 8.5, 11.5 for all of them, for all the classes and their frequencies as they are there, to draw the histogram. This one, all bars must be uniform. For this question, all bars are uniform. But in the other one, where the class widths are not same, so the bars will not be uniform. They will differ. The bars will differ, and therefore, what I do now to draw the histogram in this case, like I've said, we use I use now. Just need to, I remember these are 5, 5, so if I use from here, I can use a different color. Let me use a different color to draw those lines, the x and the y axis. So if I use like this color, if I use like this one, to draw the x and y axis, and then if this is my y-axis, let me have it. Remember, on this y-axis, the frequencies were between 3 and the highest was 13. So if the highest is 13, I think of a scale. So on this I can start with 0, that is on the y-axis. I can start with 0 here. Then if I move 5, 5, because up to 13, this is 5, 10, then I go 15. Okay, it might look small, or if I go, these are 5, this is 5. 10 of them to represent 5, so if I have 10 here to represent 5, another 10 to represent 5, so it becomes 10, another 10 to represent 5, it becomes 15. I can use the y-axis, that scale, and then the x-axis. You think of a good scale, the x-axis for it, now that we have a constant, the lower limit. I start with the lower limit of the first class, which is 2.5. So here it should be 2.5. There is no need of breaking 2.5. So next, upper limit, I use them to be 5, 5. Here they are 5 already. If 5, 5, I go, the next is 5.5, because if you add 3, you get 5.5. 5.5. The next it will be 5.5. The next is 8.5. Just the upper limits. Next is 11.5. Next is 14.5. Next is 17.5. Next is 20.5, that is the last one, 20.5. Now, for between 2.5 and 5.5, the frequency was 3. So because these are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each of them represent 2. Each of them represents 2. Because that means if 1, 2, if 10 is equals to 5. 10 small 10 equals to 5. So that means 1 is what? It's 1 times 10 divided by 2. Each represents 2. So each represents 2. So this is 2. It's supposed to be each. Okay, what about 10 represents 5? What about 1? 1 represents what? 1 times 5, 5 over 10, that is 5 over 10. 5 divided by 10 is half, or 0.5. So each represents 0.5. 1 represents 0.5. So if 1 equals to 0.5, 1, what about 3? So is 3 times 2, 6. So 3 will be, that is 3 divided by half. 3 divided by half. So it is like times 2. All of them, all the numbers that we'll be dealing with, will multiply by 2 to know how many small squares. So we'll have to count 6 to be 3. This is 5. 3 will be on the 6th here. 6th here. So on the 6th, on the 6th here, yes. So that is it. So those are 3. Now when we talk about next, now between 5.5 and 8.5, the frequency is 8, so 16 of them. Frequency is 8, so we count 16 of them. 16 of them will be, remember this is 10, 15, 16 is up to here. So use your scale properly and know how to deal with the bars as per your scale. So this is 8. Now between 8.5 and 11.5, 8.5 and 11.5, the frequency is 13. 13 times 2 is 26. So 26 small boxes, 26 small boxes on the vertical. So these are already 20, 25. So 26 will be, this is 25, 26 will be here. So from there, you just make that bar. Good. Then from there, the next is between 11.5 and 14.5. The frequency is 10. For 10, it is direct here. 10, it has no issue. It is direct there because these are uniform. The widths are 3. So you don't struggle. The next is between 14.5 and 17.5. The frequency is 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. 8 of them. 8 of them. This is 5. 5, 6, 7. 8 is up to here. Now between 17.5 and 20, it is 2. That is 4 of them, 4 small squares that will give up to this point. So that is how you use your scale. And then you do the histogram. This is the histogram, and then you score your marks. You score your marks. Now you score your 3 marks for drawing this. So that is how we draw the histogram. And it's good that you note that if the class widths are not similar, you use frequency density on the y-axis against the upper limits on the x-axis. The upper limits, remember, sometimes if you are given a class, like I said, explained from my videos, if you have like if we talk about a class like 2 to 3, and the 3 now starts here to 4, let me say something of the kind. So in these, the upper limits are just 3, 4, and all that. There are no limits in this case. So you must remember that. That's how you do it. Now we go to our next question. Our next question, number 18. Number 18 is talking about measurement. Now here, if you are given a question like this one, the figure below shows a model of a storage tank. A storage tank is made up of a conical top. There is a conical top. This is a conical top. Hemispherical bottom, and a middle part is cylinder. This middle part is the cylinder. Now, the total height of the model is from here to here is 15. But remember, you have to interpret, okay, diameter of the cone is diameter of the cone, cylinder, and the hemisphere is 6. Diameter of all these is 6. So that means the radius here is 6. The radius is 6. Diameter is 6, so the radius is 3. So that means the radius is 3. The radius here is 3. And the radius here is also 3. Now that means from here to here we need to find, this is 8. What about from here to here is the same as the radius? From here to here is the same as the radius, which is also 3. This is also 3. So that means from here up to this point is 8 plus 3, which is 11. From here to here is 11. And then from here to here, we don't know from here. From here to here, we don't know. So, but we can use the linear scale factor. Now we need to remember the similarity and enlargement. If I use all the Pythagoras theorem, so if I have 3 here, they have the slant height. But I have this from here to here, 15. So 15 minus 11. So from here to here, I can say it is 15 minus this is 11, which gives you 4. So I gave 4. I can easily find the slant height here, because remember, I'm asking that the total external surface area of the model in terms of pi. In terms of pi, the surface area of the model, this is the curved surface area of this conical part plus curved surface area of this, then plus the curved surface of the cylinder. Remember that one, curved surface, this is hemisphere. A sphere, it is 4 pi r squared. So hemisphere, so surface area is this surface of the hemisphere, which is now, hemisphere is a half of 4 pi r squared, it is 2 pi r squared. Then it is plus the area of this, the area of the cylinder part, curved surface of the cylinder, it is 2 pi dh, or 2 pi r squared, 2 pi r h, or pi dh, pi dh. So then plus the curved surface here is pi rl, pi rl. So I need to find the L here. So the L there, the L, like I've explained, equals to the square root of 4 squared plus 3 squared, which is equal to 16 plus 9, the root of 25. This gives me 5 centimeter. So this is equal to 5 centimeter. So that means my total surface area equals to 2 pi times r squared, and r squared is 9, then plus 2 times pi, we have been asked to live in the form of pi, times r is 3, times the h of the cylinder is 8, then plus pi r, pi, times the r is 3, times the L is 5, times 5. So this gives you 18 pi, plus, this is 24 times 2 is 48 pi, then finally plus, this is 15 pi. So 15 pi, if you add all this, gives you 81 pi. This is 81 pi. Remember, you are dealing with centimeters square. The units are very essential, but you ask it to give it in the form of pi. Then the next question is that, so there is a mark there. There is a mark for each. That is for getting this one. There is a mark. Those are 3, 4, 5 marks. That's how you score your 5 marks. Each and every section, this one you get a mark, like I've said, you get a mark and you get a mark. Each and every section. And also the final answer. Now that's how you score the 5 marks. And then from there, you are asked that you find, the next question is that we find part B is that we find Now we move to part B. We are supposed to find the total volume of the model. The total volume of the model, we'll have to find the volume of this plus the volume of the cylinder plus the volume of the hemisphere. And the volume is a third pi r squared plus the volume here is pi r squared h plus this hemisphere is 4/3. Hemisphere now is 2/3 pi r cubed. Because it is a sphere, it is 4/3 pi r cubed. Now hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. It's half of the sphere. Now, so the total volume, it is volume equals to, we have said it's 2/3, that is for the hemisphere, 2/3 pi r cubed. Then we add pi r squared for the cylinder, pi r squared h. Then we add a third. Pi r squared h, pi r squared h. So that is how we find the volume. Now we continue and do the calculations now. So our volume now becomes 2/3. Let me just have it in 2/3 in terms of pi. 2/3. I can have it as 2/3 times pi times r is 3 squared is 3 cubed. 3 cubed gives you 27. 3 cubed gives you 27. Then plus pi times h is 8. 9 times 8, which is 72. 9 times 8 is 72, because this 3 squared is 9 times 8 is 72. Then plus a third times pi times r squared is 9, 3 squared is 9, times the h. H for the, it was 4, that is for the conical part, the height was 4. So if you multiply all this, gives you 9 times 2 is 18. It gives me 18 pi plus 72 pi plus this is 12 pi. So all this, if you add, it gives you 102 pi centimeters cubed. But you have not been told to live in terms of pi. I've been asked to give to two significant figures. So I multiply times pi. So I can multiply times 22/7, which is the same as 102, because I was not told the pi to use. 102 times, so if I use 22/7, this gives me what? If you multiply by using your calculator, 102 times 22/7, you use your calculator, you'll find it to be 102 times 22/7 by your calculator. 102, if you have 102 times 22/7, you get 320.571, but I'm told which is equal to two significant figures. This is significant, 1, 2. 1, 2. So it is, the rest is 0, 0. So it's like 320 centimeters cubed. 320 centimeters cubed. So that is what you are supposed to do for you to score the next 5 marks. That is very simple on the measurements. There are that you'll be required to use linear scale factor, similarity and enlargement. When you are given such a question, you should also be able to do correctly. So we will go to the next question. That is our question number 19. Question number 19 is a question on vectors and mostly dealing with collinearity. So it might not appear like this one exactly, where you are dealing with the points, but you might be given a question dealing with collinearity that you have to show that points are collinear. To show that points are collinear, like we said from our previous tutorials, is that first of all, you have to ensure that they are parallel. And to show parallelism, we must show that if it is LM, there is a common multiple. If there is a common multiple, therefore, they are parallel. And if they are parallel, and there is a common point, and therefore they are collinear. So I'm going to explain that on how to do. This question is talking that we find factor Ln, but remember here you are told that this is origin 0, 0, origin 0, 0, and we are told that this point A here, point A 1, 6 and point B 15, 6 respectively. Point N is on OB. Point N is on OB. On O to B there is a point N, such that 3ON, we are told that 3ON equals to 2OB. 2OB. So if I deal with this, if I can have ON, then 2 I divide here, this ON goes. If I bring 2 this other side, I divide by 2 here, it will be 3 all over 2 equals to OB all over ON. This tells me that from O to N is 2, and then O to B is 3. So that means N to B is 1. So the ratio of ON to NB is 2:1. That is the ratio of ON to NB equals to 2:1. And then I also interpret the other one. Line OA is produced to L. OA is produced to L, such that OL is 3OA. O to L is 3OA. So what does that mean? It means that if I divide by OL, that means if I divide by, that is OL equals to 3OA. If I remain with 1, if I divide by OL, I divide by OL. So that means I'll have 1 over 1 equals to 3OA all over OL. I divide by 3, so it means 1 over 3 equals to OA all over OL. It means that OL is 3, from O to L is 3 and OA is 1. O to A is 1 and O to A is 1 and O to L is 3, meaning that if the whole thing is 3 and we have from here to A is 1, then that A to L is 2. So the ratio of OA to AL, OA to AL equals to 1:2. So that is what it means. Then when you interpret it that way, now you are good to go, because I'm asking about Ln. I'm asking about L to N. So to get Ln, I need the coordinate of L and the coordinate of N. Now, to get the coordinate of L, I use this what I'm given here, the ratio. So that means even if I use them the way they are here, that is OL equals to 3OA. So O to L, I don't know, OA I know. So if I use it the way it is here, I'll say that O to L, so I need L, so I can say OL equals to 3 into OA. O to A is 1/6 if you have it in column vector form. So that means my OL vector equals to 318. So that means, remember O is origin 0, 0. So OL is the same as L minus 0, 0, which still gives you this one. So that means my coordinate of L is 318. I can also 318, that is OL. I can also use this same here the way it is here. I can use the way it is here direct without struggling because I have there. So I can say 3ON. If I use the way it is or I use this other, this still is okay. Because if I use this that I have found here, I will say that ON is 2. 2 over 3. ON equals to O to N is 2 over 3 OB. You can say that way, that ON equals to, from here, because from here to here is 2, ON is 2, the total is 3, 2 over 3 OB. So from there I can find N, the coordinate of N. I can find ON. So if I do this one, or use this one direct, you need ON. So ON is 2, because if I divide by 3, is 2 over 3 OB. 2 over 3 OB. Like from here, you divide by 3, ON is equals to 2 over 3 OB. So we shall have it as 2 over 3 OB, which is equal to 2 all over 3 of OB. OB is 15/6. You have the column vector. So 2 over 3 times 15. Remember this one, 5 times 2 is 10. It gives 10. 2 over 3, this is 2. 3 comes to 6. 2 times 2 is 4. 10, 4. So we have ON is 10, 4. And for you to get LN is ON minus, it is N minus L. So that is Ln, that's what I'm asked, equals to N minus L, and N is what? Is 10, 4. 10, 4 minus L is 318. So this gives me, this is 7. 4 minus 18 is negative 14. 7, negative 14. So that is what I'm asked. 7, negative 14. That is what I'm asked. So that is vector Ln. Then after getting that vector Ln, I move further. And do the next question. And the next question is asking about asking that given that M is on Ln, such that Lm to Mn is 3:4. Is 3:4. Let me sketch that figure the way it was. So you have here. There is there was this line. There is another line here. There is Ln here. This is n. Yes. Ln, this is your L. This 0, 0, of course. And then there was an A here. Okay, we might not be interested with the A. There is a B here. There is a B here, point B. And then you are told that M is on Ln. M is on Ln. So there is a point M here on Ln, such that Lm to Mn is 3 is to 4 here. Find the coordinate of M. We find the coordinate of M. So we know that this is very simple. Lm, so that means to get my Lm, L to M is 3 over 7 equals to 3, because L to M is 3, all over total is 7 of Ln. And Ln I've found it from above. So Lm, if I let M to be xy, so that Lm is M minus L, that is x, minus that of L. L, we said the x minus 3, that is because the L was 318, like we have found from above. So x minus 18 and y minus 18 now equals to 3 over 7 of Ln. 3 over 7 of Ln, and Ln is Ln is 7 negative 14. So that means that this is a 3. So that means x minus 3 equals to 3, and therefore x equals, if you take that one, equals to 6, and for the other one, y minus 18 equals to 3 over 7 times negative 14. This is negative 2 times it gives you 3 over 7 of 14. Good. It gives me, this is a negative 2, this is a negative 2, negative 6. So that means y equals to negative 6 plus 18. Negative 6 plus 18, this gives me 12. So the coordinate of M in coordinate form is 6, 12. 6, 12. 6, 12. That is the coordinate. Then from there, they are telling you on the next question that OM is produced to T. OM from O to M, this one produced to T. There's a point T there. Okay, let me have it. Let me have that point. A point T. OM is produced to a point T here. This is a point T. M is there. OM is produced to a point T such that OM to MT, OM to MT, it is 6 is to 1. 6 is to 1. Now, they are asking that we find the position vector of T. Position vector of T. If we have OM, we know OM. So that means the OM equals to 6 all over the total is 6 plus 1, which is 7, of OT, and OM is 612 equals to 6 all over 7 of OT. So I need OT, I divide by the reciprocal. So OT equals to 7 all over 6 times, that is 612. So this one, the reciprocal of that, you find the reciprocal of this, you multiply by both sides by the reciprocal. So that one OT gives me, this is a 6 cancels, remains 7, is equal to 7, and 6 here is 2, 14, 7, 14. That is the position vector of T. So the coordinate of T is 7, 14. Now I need to show that the next question is that I show that LTB are collinear. LTB are collinear. Now I need to find, maybe I can say LT. I can find LT and TB, or somebody can find LT and LB. Still is correct. Whichever you find, as long as you show there is a common multiple and there is a common point, common multiple for parallelism, and a common point, and therefore they are collinear. So I can say that LT, I can find LT, and LT is T minus L, that is 214, that is T is 214, minus L. L, we had found it as 318. So if I find this LT, I'll get it as negative, that is LT. This is 7, not 714, not 2, 714. 7 minus 3 is negative, it is 4 positive. It is 4 positive. So I'll have positive 4 and negative 4. I can also find LB, or I find LT and TB. Whichever I find, I'll still get the correct thing. So I can find LT and TB. I can find TB. TB is B minus T, and B is B was given as 16. B was given as 15, 6. So it was 15, 6. That was B given, minus T, we have said is 7, 14. So you'll find it to be this is 8, and this is negative 8. So when you find that, you need now to consider between these. I can say that I can let LT to be equal to KTB, meaning that LT is 4, negative 4, equals to K into TB is 8, negative 8. So I can use the upper ones and upper ones alone, so that I can say that 4 equals to 8K. So I divide by 8K equals to half. K equals to half. So after showing K is half, it implies that LT equals to half TB. You must show this equals to half TB. After showing equals to half TB, and therefore you can say therefore LT is parallel to TB. Then from there you can say a statement that since T, in this case it is T and T. T is a common point. T is a common point. Is common. Since T is common point, since T is common point, you say it implies that therefore LTP, LTB are collinear. You write a statement, collinear. There is no specific answer to this one because another person who used LB and LT could have found a common multiple of 3, for instance, and therefore there is no common answer, but the procedure is the same, must be shown. So that is how you show collinearity, and be keen on this question of collinearity. Be keen on this question of collinearity, and all will be well. All will be well. Then we move to the next question. We move to the next question. We move to the next question. Now, I move to the next question. That is question number 20. Number 20 is a prediction on scale drawing. 3 warships PQR are at seaside that ship Q is 400 kilometers on a pairing of these north 30 degrees. This one is called, you have to know how to sketch north 30 degrees from ship P. I'll give you a sketch, then you'll draw on your own the accurate figure. North 30 degrees east from ship P. Ship R is 760 kilometers from ship Q, and on a pairing of south 60 degrees east from ship Q. So first of all, we are told that QR are such that at sea such that ship Q is 400 kilometers on a pairing of these from ship P. So the starting point is ship P. If I have ship P here, this is ship P. I'm told that Q is 400 kilometers on a pairing of north to the north, east. Remember our compass. This is your east, your west, your north, and this is your south. So we are told it is north 30 degrees, north the 30 degrees, north 30 degrees to the east. So this is where it is here. So from there you have a sketch like that, and then we have your Q here, and this one is 400 kilometers. And then next, ship R is 750 kilometers from ship Q, and on a pairing of south 60 degrees east, south to the south 60 degrees east. So to the south here 60 degrees, 60 degrees east, but 750 kilometers. That is when you go and find your R. You have to make a sketch, then you draw the accurate. South 60 degrees east, the south, and 60 degrees south. It is the south 60 degrees east, this side of east, south 60 degrees east. This is the correct thing. And then we are told that that's you get R. An enemy warship is sighted 1,000 kilometers due south of Q. 1,000 kilometers due south of Q. So just straight here, 1,000 kilometers. Then we shall have a warship somewhere here. Straight 1,000. If this is 1,000 kilometers due south of due south of Q, from Q straight south, you've 1,000 kilometers. Remember, you're using a scale. Use a scale drawing to locate the positions of. You have not been told the scale, so you think of your own scale. If I think of 1 kilometer to represent like hundreds, like 1 kilometer, I mean 1 centimeter, not kilometer, 1 centimeter to represent like, if I talk of 10 kilometer, this 40, it will be 2. If I talk of 10, it will be 40, that it will be too big. If I talk of 20, if I divide 400 by 20, or let's talk about 1,000. If I talk of 1,000, because that is my biggest, if I divide by 20, this is 50, it is still big. If I talk of 1,000, 100, it is 10. So that is correct scale, 100 kilometer. So that I divide by 100, this means I'll be measuring 4 centimeter here. I'll measure 4 centimeter here. I'll measure, you divide by 100, I'll measure 7.5 centimeter. 7.5 centimeter. That one is, and this one I measure 10 centimeter. So from there, remember, after drawing is like you join there, and there is also this one. So this is how the figure should be. This is how it should look like. So after you draw the actual, you measure those distances, like use this scale like the one I've used here. Remember, just locating this point 1, 2, 3, and 4 here, you get 4 marks. Locating the points, this, and this point, and this, you score your 4 marks. Differences between canvas pairing and true pairing. Canvas pairing and true pairing. So this is, whatever given here is true pairing. Canvas pairing is always to the north. It's always from the north and clockwise. From the north in a clockwise direction. That is the canvas pairing. Now, from there you are done. From there you scale to locate the distances of this. You can now be sure that if you draw such, you are good to go. From there you are good to go. You will score everything correct. Remember, this is a sketch. You have to make a sketch before you draw the actual. So from there you draw the actual and get your 10 marks without struggling, because the rest is just measurements. Now we go to the next question, number 21. Number 21, the question is talking about a bus and a matatu left void. Both of them left void. They left void, both of them. The bus and the matatu left void. So if I have, can I have something of the kind I call here is void. So let me say the matatu is here. Matatu, and this is the bus is here. The speed of the bus, we are told, is what? Remember, from here to here is 240 kilometers. We are told it's 240 kilometers from Voi to Mombasa. 240 kilometers. They left at 8. Both of them left at 8:00 a.m. They travel at 90 kilometers per hour and 120 kilometers respectively. So that means the bus was going at 90 kilometers. 90 kilometers per hour. And the matatu was going at 150, 120 kilometers per hour. And then, respectively, after 20 minutes, the matatu had a puncture, which took that minutes to mend. So after 20 minutes, the matatu had a puncture. So they started at the same time. But after 20 minutes, so we must know the distance the matatu had gone for the first 20 minutes. Distance traveled by matatu, first 20 minutes. So the distance by matatu the first 20 minutes, we know that speed equals to distance over time taken. So distance matatu, distance of matatu in 20 minutes. In the first 20 minutes, it will be equal to the speed of the matatu is 120 times the time is 20. Remember you're doing kilometers per hour, so you change to per hour divided by 60. So you multiply that, you get that distance to be 40 kilometers. So it went 40 kilometers. The matatu went 40 kilometers. And what happened? It got a pangija there. And then, remember the bus continued to move. And then we are told that it took 50 minutes there. No, it took 30 minutes there to start going again. So, remember, now from here to here is 20 minutes. We need to know from the starting point, because we are told we need to note where the bus was by the time the matatu is starting again. By the time distance of bus in 50 minutes now, because remember the start minutes the matatu had stopped. Distance, because it is going to start going again after the bus had gone for 50 minutes. So distance of bus in 50 minutes, because it shall have gone 50 minutes before the matatu start again. So in 50 minutes, it's the speed of the bus 90 times 50 over 60 times 50 over 60. So it had gone 75 kilometers. Now, if it had gone 75 kilometers and this had covered 40 kilometers, so the distance the matatu must cover for it to competing distance, the distance the matatu must run for it to catch up. Distance matatu must run to catch. Distance matatu must run to catch. Distance to catch. This distance for it to run to catch, it is the 75 that the matatu had gone minus the 40 that this had covered. This gives you 35 kilometers. 35 kilometers. So that means that is the competing distance, and therefore we can find the time taken to relative speed. Our relative speed, when they move to the same distance, we subtract. It is 120 minus 90. This gives you 30 kilometers per hour. And therefore, if you have the relative speed and the distance that must be run, that the matatu must run to catch, how far from what did the catch up with the bus? Did it catch up the matatu catch up with the bus? So we need to find time taken to catch up, time taken to catch equals to the competing distance which is 35 all over the relative speed which is 30 hours, which is the same as 35. If you divide by 30 you get 1 point. I said that when you get 1 point, like this is 35, we divide by 30, you get 1.16. So 1.166666, 1.16666, so it's the same 0.1666, that's 1 hour, and this 0.1666 you need to times 60, you get like 10 minutes. So it's like 1 hour 10 minutes. 1 hour 10 minutes. So that is the time that it must. How far from Voi did the bus catch up? Now distance from Voi. Remember, it was from Voi. The distance it ran to catch up it must run up for 35 out of 30 hours, which is the same as 7 over this 5 is 7 over 6 hours. So it must run for 7 over 6 hours. For it to catch up now from void, distance from void equals to the distance 40 kilometers already, the matatu covered, 40 kilometers, plus the distance it must run to catch up, which is, we know the distance is speed times time. The speed it was moving is 120, times the time must run to catch up is 1 hour and 10 minutes, which is 7 over 6. So this gives you 180 kilometers. This 40 plus this is what? This is 120, and that's 140. 40 kilometer plus 140 kilometers. This gives you 180 kilometers. This is the distance that this is the distance. How far from void did the catch up? From void, it catched the bus at 180 kilometers from void. So that is how you are supposed to do it. That's how you are supposed to do it. That is how you are supposed to do it. That is how you are supposed to do this work. That is how you are supposed to do this question. That is how you are supposed to do this question. Then you score your 6 marks very easily. Then the next question is, yes, we shall use what we have found, so you need to remember them. The next question is that we find the next question we are asked to find at what time did the matatu catch up with the bus? At what time did the matatu catch up with the bus? Remember, we need to know that time the matatu catch up with the bus. They started at 8. So if they started at 8, at 8:00, then it took plus the time it took from the void, from void. Remember, it had gone for 20 minutes and then it stopped for 30 minutes. So we find that 50 minutes, we add the 50 minutes, then we add the time it took after starting now to run again for it to catch it up. It was 1 hour and 10 minutes, like we have found from above, 10 minutes. Then we add all this, we get this is 850 plus this 850 plus, remember this 850, this and this gives 1 hour. And then you have 8, this is 9, it will be 10:00. It will be at 10, if you add all this, gives you 10:00 a.m. That is the time. At what time? That's 10:00 a.m. That's when it catched up with the bus. At what time did the bus, not the build, reach Mombasa? The bus, at what time did it reach Mombasa? So at what time did the bus reach Mombasa? So we need to find the time taken. Time taken equals to total distance, which was 240. It was moving at 90 kilometers per hour. So it took 2 hours. 2 hours. It took 2 hours and 40 minutes. 2 hours and 40 minutes. If you divide by that, 40 minutes. So if it took 2 hours and 40 minutes and it started at 8, it started at 8:00. So if you add 2 hours and 40 minutes, you will find it 10:40. 10:40. So it reached Mombasa at at 10:40 a.m. These other questions were very simple. They were very simple. So after you understand that, you are good to go. Now we go to the next question. Remember, this question can be a graph. It can be drawn. It might appear as a graph. Then you are asked to find maybe the total distance. If it is velocity time graph, total distance is the area of the curve. Area under curve gives you total distance. Or you can be given some total distance. You are asked to find the final velocity, where the matatu started running or whatever. So you just manipulate that graph like I did from my previous tutorials. Question number 22 is on profits and losses. We are told that the ratio of Chuma's and Akinyi's earnings was 5:3. 5:3. And then we are told that that is Juma to Akinyi. The ratio equals to 5:3. Then we are told that Chuma's earning rose to 8,400 after an increase of 12%. So Juma's original. So we need to know Juma's original earning. Original earning, because it rose to this was 112. What about 100? So it was 100. Originally it was 100 all over 112. That it became this times 8,400. So the original earning of Chuma is 5,000. 7,000. 500. 7,000. You multiply that by using your calculator, you get 7,500. Then we need Akinyi's original earning. Calculate the percentage increase in Akinyi's earning, given that the sum of their new earning was this. So the sum of their new earning from here, first of all, Akinyi, because remember the ratio of Juma's and Akinyi's earning was 5:3. So Akinyi's original earning is 3. Remember 5 is this. What about 3? Is 3 over 5 times this. So Akinyi original earning is 3 all over 5 times 7,500. This gives you 4,500. Those were the original. Then we are asking that now we need to know the Akinyi new earning, because Akinyi new earning, we are taught about Juma's new earning as this. Akinyi new earning, we need to know Akinyi new earning. The Akinyi new earning equals to Akinyi new earning. Remember, it rose to 14,100. It is the new sum was 14,100 minus the new earning for Juma, that is 8,400. So this gives you 5,700. 5,700. That is Akinyi new earning. Then we need to know that we calculate the percentage increase in Akinyi's earning, given that the sum of their new earning. Percentage increase in Akinyi equals to the new earning, which is 5,700. The new earning is 5,700 minus the original earning, that was 4,500. Over the original earning, which was 4,500, then times 100. So this one gives you, if you subtract that, you get 1,200 divided by 4,500, then times 100. This gives you 26 And when it is recurring, 26.66666. When it's recurring and sure you write in fraction form, it is 26 and 2/3. When it recurs and sure you write in fraction form as 26 and 2/3%. And sure you write in fraction form when it recurs. When it recurs, and sure you write in fraction form. So that is how you are supposed to tackle that question. That is how you are supposed to tackle that question. Now, part B of the question is that Juma and Akinyi contributed all the new earnings to buy maize at 1,175 shillings per kg. The maize was then sold at 1,762.50 cents per bag. The two shared all the money from the sales of the maize in the ratio of their contribution. Calculate the amount that Akinyi got. Now, what you do, first of all, to know is that we need to know the number of bags, that they had. So to get the number of bags that they had here, to get the number of bags that they had, the number of bags that they had equals to the total contribution was the total earning was, because the Akinyi all the new earnings, total contribution were, the new earnings were 14,000. The new earnings were 14,000 from the above. We noted that the new earnings we were told they were 14,100. Remember, they bought each bag at 1,175. So if you divide by using your calculator, you'll find it to be 12 bags. So they had 12 bags. Then we are told that they sold the maize at so amount sold. The amount they sold is how much? Amount sold equals to the 12 bags times each bag that was costing 1,762.50 cents. 1,762.50. If you multiply that, you get the amount they got is 21,150. Now, that is Kenyan shillings, of course. Then that's the amount sold. So we are asking that the two shared all the, so the ratio of contributions, was he contributed, the new earning for Juma was, that is Juma to Akinyi was 84. Juma was 8,400, and Akinyi new earning was 5,700. We simplify these two, it is 84 to 57. 84 to 57. You can use it as that, or just you simplify further and get 28 is to 19. 28 is to 19. So if that was now we are asking to find this, you add the 2, you get 47. This and this is total is 47. So we are asking to find that how much Akinyi got. Akinyi got 19. Akinyi got 19. That is his contribution all over 57. The total was 57, not 57 but 47. 28 plus 19 is 47. All over 47. Then times the amount 21,150 times 21,150. That is the amount they sold. So you'll get it as 8,550. 8,550 shillings. 550 shillings. Kenyan shilling. 8,550. So that is the amount Akinyi got. Now we go to the next question, number 23. The next question, number 23, The next question, number 23, is talking about the next question, number 23. We look at it, the question is talking about mid-ordinate rule. So we need to remember mid-ordinate rule. Mid-ordinate rule. Use mid-ordinate rule with 5 strips to estimate the area bounded by the curve y equals to x plus 3x power negative 1. The x-axis, the line x equals to 1 and x equals to 6. Now what you do, we need to find the height that we use. H equals to x2 minus x1, that is 6 minus 1 out of the number of strips, which is 5. So this gives you 5 over 5. So we need now to make the table of x. So I need x, I need the midpoint, so that I use the midpoint to find y. Now I can use this equation, can be written as y equals to x plus 3 over x. This is the same because we know that 1 over a equals to a power negative 1. So that is the same concept here. So x, you start with 1 because the difference is 1 1. We go to 2 3 4 5 6. We find the midpoint is 3 divided by 2, it is 1.5. This 5, which is 2.5. This is 7, is 3.5. And then this is 9, 4.5. 11 is 5.5. So now this is what we use. We use these values of the midpoints to find the values of y. We substitute 1.5 is, so the first one 1.5 plus 3 over 1.5. Just press in your calculator, you find it is as 3.5. The next you find 2.5 plus 3 over 2.5, you get it as 3.7. Now that I'm writing in one decimal place, I write everything in one decimal places. Like the next is 4.3 and so many points, so I round off to 4.4. That is one decimal place. The next is 4.5 plus 0 over 4.5, you get 5.2 to one decimal place. And next is 6.0 and so many others, so you one decimal place. So from there you find the area. We know that area equals to h into y1 plus y2 plus up to y we move that up to y. So we move up to y n minus 1. No, up to yn, not n minus 1. So up to yn, that is the last y. So we add all of them and times the height. So our height is 1 into, now we add all of this, 3.5 plus 3.7 plus 4.4 plus 5.2 plus 6.0. If you add all this, you will get it as 22.8. 22.8 square. You must write square units because you have not been told how many units are there, and the area should be squared, square units. So after getting the area, we move to the next point that we are using integration. Integration still you do the same. Okay, let me do just here. by integration, we find by integration, we integrate from 6, 1, we can integrate when it is in this form, not in this form. So it is, we integrate x plus 3x power negative 1 with respect to dx. So that means 6, 1, if you integrate this is x squared over 2. Because the x equals power 1, you add 1, becomes 2 all over 2, the new power. Then plus, this is negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 0 all over 0, it is infinity. So it is 3 times, this is 1 is 3 all over 0. So it is 3 over 0, 3 over 0, which is the same as infinity. So it's the same as, just between 6 and 1, we deal with x squared all over 2 alone. So the area becomes 6 we square, which is equal to 6 squared all over 2. Whatever you get, you minus for 1 squared all over 2. So this one you get it as 36 is 18 minus a half. So this gives you 17 and a half square units. That is by integration. By integration. Then from there, the next question will be the percentage error. Calculate the percentage error in area when mid-donut rule is used. For percentage error, you just get this one, you subtract this one, you divide by the actual is taken to be the one for integration is the actual. So divided by the one for integration times 100. So I can easily say percentage error if I calculate part C here. If I calculate part C here and call percentage error, it is now 22.8 minus 17.5 divided by 17.5 then times 100. So percentage error becomes 5.3. If you subtract this 5.3 divided by 17.5 times 100. This gives you 30.29%. So that was the percentage error in using mid-donut rule. So this is a very simple question. When you are given either trapezium rule, mid-donut rule, whichever you are told, it is a very simple question. You should be able to do it and get all the answers correctly. Because this is a very simple question for you to score 10 marks. You are not struggling. You are just adding numbers. For mid-donut rule or even trapezium rule, because either of them can appear, and it's not automatic that it has to, but then you need to note, because it can appear even in paper 2, either in paper 1 or paper 2. So that is what you are supposed to do. Then we go to the last question, number 24. Number 24, you expect such a question. That is turning points. Number 24, we deal with turning points. Now you are asked that the equation of a curve is given by y equals to x cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x. You find the x-intercept. We understand that at x-intercept, we know that y equals to 0. So it means that all this equation will equalize to 0. X cubed minus 4x squared plus 3x will equalize to 0. So here we can factor out x. It can be x into, it comes here x squared minus 4x, then it is plus 3 equals to 0. So this means that x equals to 0, or x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals to 0. This one, it is a quadratic equation. We use the factor method because the sum is -4, the product is 3, and the factors are -3 and -1. -3 plus -1 is -4. -3 times -1, it is 3 positive. So we use it. It will be x squared minus, now we replace this one with now the -3x. It is -3x and negative x because it's -1. So we replace with -3x, then minus x, then plus 3 equals to 0, plus 3 equals to 0. So we go these 2 and these 2. So here we shall have x is common factor. We factor there. X comes here. X, then we minus 3, then minus the common factor is 1. 1 here is x. There is a negative changes this one to become minus 3. In simple terms, this whatever is inside the bracket must be similar, then equals to 0. So that means your x minus 1 equals to 0, or x minus 3 equals to 0. So x equals to 1, or x equals to 3. So that means the curve will cut the x-axis in 3 places. It will cut it at x equals to 0. It will also cut it at x equals to 1, and at x and at x, it will also cut it at x equals to 3. So these are the x-intercepts. You get your 2 marks. Then the y-intercept is when x is 0. So at y-intercept, x is 0. So it means what? At y-intercept, x is 0. So if x is 0, it means that at y-intercept x is 0. So that means that y equals to 0 cubed minus 4 times 0 squared, then plus 3 times 0. So all this gives y equals to 0. Y equals to 0. That's 1 mark. Determine the stationary points. The stationary points. We know at the stationary points that dy all over dx will be equal to 0. So it means dy, if we differentiate this one, gives 3x squared, then minus, this is 8x, then plus 3 will be equal to 0. So this is still a quadratic equation. This one there is no, you cannot factor because there is no common factors, because the sum is -8 and the product is 9, and there are no common factors, and therefore we can use the formula method. So it is minus b to get x equals to minus b, which is minus 8 is 8, plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 64. 64 minus 4 is c, minus 4 times this is 12 times c is so we are minusing 36 all over 2a. 2a is this, 2 times 3 is 6. So that means that we can have 8 plus or minus the square root of 28, which gives this is the square root of 28, which gives 5.292. That's for significant figures, all over 6. So meaning that my x, so it implies that my x is what? My x equals 2. When you add, you divide by 6, it gives 2.215 or 0.4513. So if that is the value of x, then when x is this, what is y? When x, the stationary point, when x is 2.215, so you substitute y would be equal to, you substitute here and get your y as you get your y as negative. When it is 2 point, it becomes negative 2.111, but you just write 2 decimal. So the okay, you can write them 113 like it is 113, so that the point now, the stationary point in that case, the stationary point is so this is point what? Stationary point is 2.215 and negative 2.113. So that is the stationary point. Then you also look for the stationary point when x, that is when x equals to 0.4513. You find y, so y you substitute, you will find, if you substitute y here, you substitute x is 0.4513, use your calculator, you substitute this x, you find y to be 0.6311. So the point is what? The stationary point is the point becomes 0.4513 and 0.6311. So that is the stationary point. So these are the two stationary points that you are asked. So after you've got the two stationary points, we go to the next question that we determine the nature of the points. The nature of the points we differentiate for the second time. If we differentiate for the second time and then we substitute that value that we get, the value of x in the second differential equation, if it is a negative, that is a maximum. If it's a positive, is a minimum. If a positive is a minimum. So we can do it practically here. That is and if it is 0, it's a point of inflection. So that is what we do, that we determine the nature of the points, the nature of the points. We determine the nature of the points. Remember, you determine the nature of the points. Then from there you sketch the curve. You sketch the curve. The nature of the points. From there you sketch the curve. Now we move. Determine whether the point is maximum or minimum. Whether it's maximum or minimum. What you do in this case to determine whether it's maximum or minimum. So the second, that is d the second differential all over d. If you differentiate for the second time, our equation, you differentiate it the second time, you find it as 6, because it was originally it was the first differential, we found it to be, that is dy all over dx, we find it to be dy all over dx, we found it to be 3x squared minus 8x plus 3 minus 8x plus 3. Now you differentiate for the second time, it becomes 6x minus 8. Now we substitute when x is 2 point, when x and see when x equals to, that is the point 2.2, there was that point 2.215, you substitute here, and then you'll find d, the second differential to be what? You find the second differential when you substitute to be equal to positive, you get a positive number. So if it is a positive number, hence it means that the point 2.215, or just call it 2.2, and then negative 2.113 is a maximum point. Is a, if it's positive, it's a minimum point. It's a minimum point. It is a minimum point. And then you do the same for, you substitute for when x, that is for the next point, that it was x equals to 0.45, x equals to 0.4513, you substitute here, you get the second differential. The second differential, you will find it to be negative. If you find it to be negative, so hence the point, that is the point 0.45 and 0.63 is maximum. It's a maximum point. So you need that just to do that. Then you sketch the curve. For you to sketch the curve, you need the turning points, the y-intercepts. So y-intercept, we found it to be y-intercept is 0. That is, and the x-intercepts, we found it to be 0. X1 and x was 3. That's the x-intercepts. Then you also need to turning points. The turning points, these are the turning points you have here. The minimum, the maximum is the minimum. The maximum 0.45. If I use 2 decimal place, 0.45. And 0.63, that is the maximum, 0.63. And I also have another point minimum. This is the maximum. Minimum is 2.22 and negative 2.11. So if I have this as a minimum here, if I have all this, then I'm able to sketch, because I'll do the x and this is the y. I know that y, there is a negative 2 somewhere here. So if I call this negative 2.11, I also have all the rest. There is a 0. There is x at 1. There is this is the x, and this is the x. So there is a 0 point, I can call it this 0.45. There is also what? A 2.2, there is a 1, of course. There is a 1 for x. There is a 3 and a 2.2. There is also a 3. Now, we know that for the y's is 0, There is a y which is negative 2.2 this, okay. There is also a y which is 0.63. So there is a 0.63 here, 0.63. So a 0.63, that is the turning point. So let us look for this point, 0.45, 0.45, and 0.63. So this is our maximum point. And then we also look for this point 2.22, 2.22, and a negative 2 point. So it is 2.22, 2.22 and negative. So it's around here. And then there is also this is the turning the y-intercept. So it will cut the x-intercept. Remember, the y-x-intercept, there is a 0, there is a 1 and a 3. So it must come, the curve comes from this side, so that it goes through the 0 here. It makes a turning at this point. You make sure you make a good sketch. A turning at that point, it goes through the x-intercept, which is 1. It goes to the minimum point, which is this. It turns and goes through the x-intercept, which is 3. So this is how you sketch the graph. Very simple without struggling. Very simple without struggling. And then you score your full 10 marks. So this is my prediction for this year. I wish you all the best, and I know you'll get that A that you've been longing for, and God shall be with you as you sit for this paper on Monday. And I assure you that you are going to do it well, because you've been prepared well by your teachers, and I'm sure you have the ability. God be with you as you sit for the paper. Thank you, and remember to subscribe for me. Thank you.